Today is April 22nd, 2025. That's the time we are recording right now. And officially, we're supposed to be out of YouTube jail. That's what we were told. That's what YouTube Studio tells us. That's what we believed to be true. But for some reason, we're still locked up. Let me out, Saar. Let's go.
Let me out, Saar.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to the Matt Kim Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kim, joined by my co-host, Mr. Peter Saddington.
Checking in, Saar. Let all of you guys know our hearts go out to you. Matt even did the test. You bent over. You did the.
Oh, don't say it like that. Oh,
by the way, check
that
in,
is
Saar.
so fatiguing.
Check in, Saar. Smash the like button. Check the Discord. Check the Telegram. Check out Soju, SOJ.OOO. Welcome, guys. It's the Matt Kim Podcast.
So we were supposed to be out of the warning territory. So for those that don't know, we did an episode in the end of December that YouTube considered hateful.
If I were to be correct, the policy is hate speech, Saar. Hate speech
Yep. Is what we were gently told.
Yes, we were told that we are hate speech propagators.
And we had 2 videos removed. We were given 2 warnings. Said that if you are in violation again of the same rule, which is hate speech, that you will receive a strike, you'll be on another ban, etc. We've already been through this ban thing last year for talking about the Fauci juice.
Yes. So for the uninitiated who are probably wondering, what was the topic that you were put into YouTube jail for?
So obviously, it was when Peter was like, there is a mechanism in which all the Jews get interest-free loans and you pay the interest. And he did this video. I was just a member of it, sitting at the table.
Look at this! Do you hear the dump truck beep beep? He's backing up the dump truck, guys. He's rolling me over.
But we did not get a strike for saying that concept because it's just true. It is what it is.
Well, no lies detected, Saar. Number one. Number two, it's a true story.
We did not get misinformation for that.
No.
We did not get a fact check for that.
No.
What we did get.
No community notes, by the way. We weren't wrong.
Nothing. It's been all over the internet.
Yeah.
Not one fact check or community note or anything everywhere.
Hundreds of millions of views.
Nobody has said a thing about the factuality of that statement.
No one said we're wrong.
But they did say it was hate speech.
Oh.
And the exact phrase that YouTube links when you go to their dashboard and they say this is the moment that you had hate speech, the 3 words that were said was... Oh, shit. If I say it, am I going to get another strike?
Well, you could spell it out, Saar.
JEWSOWNBANKS.
Are you saying that you noticed a factual pattern within the financial world? That you noticed a financial pattern of a particular people group?
And in all fairness, I know a lot of JWS.
Yeah.
No, not one of them would ever deny that that people group owns the majority of banks.
They are certainly employed in that industry en masse. Yes, that's true.
To call that hate speech for pointing out what even the group and people and population of said group believes to be true and knows to be true and factual, I don't know how that's hate speech. I tried to appeal it. They, of course, boom, denied.
Well, if I can correct the record, Saar, not only did he appeal it, but he went through the training. So you went through the retraining twice, by the way, on January 22nd and January 29th. You went through the retraining. And they still rejected your appeal.
January 22nd was the warning
I got the
date.
receipts right here.
Yeah, January 22nd was the warning date. January 29th was the completion date.
Okay.
So we held off doing it for a week. And Zach, who edits these videos for us, Zach was like, dude, I think you should do them. And I was like, oh, I don't know. He's like, I'll do it for you. Well, shit. Now YouTube knows I didn't do it. Oh, damn it.
You didn't go through the retraining, Matt?
I did not do it myself. We hired somebody to do the training for us.
That's not like this. This is why we're still in YouTube jail.
Because they know.
They know.
They know.
They know.
It's because they're tracking us. So apparently, guys, we are still in the YouTube purgatory.
Let's go back to just for a second.
Yes.
For me to say, hey, Matt, did you know that most of the people who run Bollywood are Indian?
No, hate speech.
Did you know that most of the people in the Chinese Hollywood are Chinese?
Hate speech.
Did you know that most of the Korean media exports are run by Korean media directors?
Hate speech.
Oh, no, Saar. What
You cannot say that. You are creating a dangerous precedent of generalizing people, and you cannot do that because that is how people get
So
deleted.
I can't say that most of Bollywood in India are pooflingers.
Whoa.
Did I just jump on a landmine?
That's probably why we're still in jail.
Avoid the landmines when you walk.
Okay, so let's
They do fling the poo everywhere.
let's run that back. Most of Bollywood is run by Indian people. Could I say most of Hollywood in America is run by?
No. You cannot say it. You cannot say it.
Why, Matthew? Can I not say this 4-letter word?
Fuck.
No, it's
Another one.
it's the JQ. Why can't I? Why is it not? Why am I not able to see and communicate the patterns that I see before my very eyes?
Why can you say that all the Chinese own all the iPhone factories?
That's racist.
No. Whoa. Hate speech?
That's hate speech.
Hate speech? Hate speech? It's a generalization.
You need retraining. He needs some re-engineering and some retraining of his brain.
And the first retraining, I'm not going to lie. The first
That
time,
he didn't do.
No, the first retraining that we had to do on this channel, I actually did it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did one.
What were some of the questions?
It was around the Fauci juice. So there was a lot of questions talking about
Which is so crazy because everybody in the world knows it's like the truth now.
about safety within the medical community. You had to take training around. Oh, you had to acknowledge that Q is dangerous and that you cannot be perpetuating the ideas of Q. That is a part of the Fauci juice training because I think these training modules are tailored to kind of topic in which you are speaking. So for some reason, Q is associated with vaccine denial.
Really?
Yeah, that was interesting, isn't it?
Isn't Q a Israeli like Mossad
I don't know
control
anymore.
system?
Is 4chan?
Kinda. Let's just say there's evidence pointing in that direction.
And they never came back online.
No.
They're done. They just like, they figured us out. We're done. And they disappeared?
I tweeted about this because I actually see this as. So let me give you an analogy. One of the worst things, and this is so crazy to me, one of the worst things you could do to a cancerous tumor is to cut it open and let all the cancerous, particles flow around the body. 4chan has become that. It was this cancerous tumor in which they've shut it down. So guess where all the cancerous trolls who never leave their houses, plus all of the 3-letter agencies that are controlling all of it, guess where they're going?
Where?
Everywhere.
Well,
This is I almost feel like the contagion was contained in 4chan. But now that 4chan isn't coming back, the contagion, we were talking about zombies last episode, the contagion's like going everywhere now.
if you are a 4chan transplant and you need a home to go to soj.oo.
Ooh, that should be the call to action.
Because we're 4chan, but better. If you're not a paid member of 4chan, it would take you, I think, 210 seconds in order to post anything. Like this wait time is crazy, and you got to do this crazy captcha in order to like even prove that you're a human. It's wild.
And the leaked documents show that clearly the entire thing was mass controlled, like
The whole
censored, everything. Yeah.
Exactly. People thought it was a free space. You could do whatever you want. Now we're finding out
Saar.
that the whole thing was a honeypot. The whole thing is no good. Come to Soju.
Yeah, soj.oo for those that are unwashed and unsullied. It is your opportunity for a freedom tool that was created by our very own Matt. And this freedom tool is quite amazing because you can actually have uncensorable conversations
Correct.
that are quite prickly, but very enlightening in many ways. Because there's a couple of I'm not going to go into the details right now, but there's a couple of Soju posts as of recent that I actually learned a couple things.
Really?
Come on, do we not have internet sleuths who drop links and receipts
awesome.
of everything that they're talking about?
It's awesome. It's where the community's hanging out.
Seriously.
Highly, highly recommend.
So still in YouTube jail.
Still in YouTube jail. And when they will let us out, who knows? It may be tomorrow. It may be a month. It may be never. Doesn't really matter.
So we
still do what we do.
We can't say the four-letter word, but we can say Israelis, right? We can say Mossad.
No, you cannot say that 4 letters own 4 letters.
So you're saying Indians own the vast majority of Bollywood? I'm allowed to say that, but I'm not allowed to say the other thing?
Yes, that's correct. That's my understanding.
That's crazy, though, Matt. Like, let's just sit on that for just a second. It's just words. Wait.
No, they're hateful words.
That's 4 words. So, like, those 4 words.
If you whisper it, I don't know if it makes it any better.
Did you hear it?
I can totally hear it.
I might pick it up.
You gotta bleep that out. Like, how are these words so contentious, Matt?
I don't know.
It's 2025, man.
I don't know. It's like such a weird time that we live in, and it feels like we're given this ability to be a little more free online these days. But yet, even though they tell you that you're more free, you can feel these invisible walls of restriction around you.
Yeah.
And I think everyone can actually feel that.
I'm like that you called it out that way. I actually feel the exact same way. Where it's like, it almost feels like a lot of people are getting away with a lot of color commentary these days. However, in the background, though, even though a lot of people are getting away with a lot of color commentary, it seems in the background the noose is tightening a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
so there's this weird dichotomy.
All the color commentary that we think, oh, I can't believe you said it. It's like, well, a lot of people are saying it.
Yeah.
And they're all saying it the same way.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels more like colored narrative.
Or manufactured.
Manufactured colored narrative.
Could be. We have realized through all of the trials and tribulations and all the travel and all the conversations that you've had behind closed doors, at least I've been convinced, you correct me if I'm wrong, I've been convinced that the vast majority of talking heads online are at some level compromised. Is that a fair statement?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, like the amount of content I consume these days is like, I'm trickling to like maybe the lowest in the last 10 years.
And we've touched on this a couple times. Like, it's not that you're burnt out. It's just like there's so much going on.
Yeah.
It's like a fire hose, right?
Like every news person, they all look and sound the same. They're all saying the same things. Even if you're scrolling for just like mindless content, everything is formatted the same. It's almost like people have figured out how algorithms work.
Yeah.
And people understand like what human psychology like wants to see, and everyone's doing the same exact thing, and it's getting really repetitive.
Yes.
Over and over and over and over again. That, if I log in to a TikTok or Instagram and I start scrolling, I'm like, I saw the same exact thing yesterday and the day before and the day before, and you take this guy or this girl or this whatever action, and it's like so interchangeable with anyone. Like you're actually losing identity as a creator online because it's interchangeable. They're all the same people.
Exactly. And yes, each jump cut is the same that you've seen 1,000 times before.
There's nothing surprising. There's nothing interesting. And then every once in a while, people go too far, and I'm like, oh, this is different. I'm like, oh, this is like complete brain rot.
Yeah, or it's cringe.
Yeah.
Right? So can I tell you something? It's interesting you bring this up. I'm going to give you 2 experiences from my recent consumption habits over the last, let's say, 6 months or so. Number 1, I have actually shut off and clicked away from YouTube videos that I would generally watch. And the reason is because the first 30, 40 seconds is that scripted cut, like CTA, like hook. And I'm like, okay, I already know the next 15 minutes. So I go to something else. I've never done that before, like because the pattern is so noticeable. That's number one. Number two, I have actually shortcutted my consumption habits in terms of watching the first like minute or so, and then just jumping to the last 5 minutes.
Still watch. Don't turn us off. Okay.
No, I mean,
we've seen the story before.
No.
Podcast
Yeah,
before.
don't do it to the Matt Kim podcast. You could do it to Joe Rogan, right? You could do it to PBD. You could do it to, if you watch those, other Mossad agents out there. But like, no, seriously, this is just true conceit. I have done that. I just watch the first 30 seconds, then I watch the 5 minutes, and I feel like I haven't missed anything. So you're not wrong. Like, my consumption habits have changed based on the fact that the pattern is not only noticeable and real, but it's stale. Don't you agree?
It's stale.
Yeah,
That's
super
exactly
stale.
the right word.
Yeah.
It's stale. It's like you're seeing the same thing over and over and over again. I feel like I'm watching reruns online.
How does the Matt Kim podcast ensure that we don't fall into the same trappings?
Well, I think it's interesting because, like me personally, I just don't consume content. So I don't know what other people are doing anymore. I mean, I watch a little bit.
Wait, let's pause that for a second. There might be someone on the other end of this line that's watching this and saying, bullshit, Matt, you are one of the most educated motherfuckers on what's going on, and you have the pulse of what's going on in America and the world. Like, you travel, and you've gone through deep dives, you know your shit. So when I hear you say, Matt, I don't really consume, but then you have this deep well of knowledge on the other end, help reconcile the dissonance that some people might have there, because when I hear you say this, I fully understand. Like, I understand the internal and external consistency of what you say. I think some people might say, wait. I watched like a video of Matt going on for 40 minutes about this one topic and all of the details. Like, he knows his shit. What is he talking about? So how do we reconcile that?
I think a lot of it is I'm getting really old school. So, for example, Will come in and be like, hey, did you hear about this? And it's something he's interested in. So I'm like, oh, that is interesting. And then I'll spend time to learn about it rather than let the algorithm fuel it. Let the people around me and the community around me and the people around me bring up topics that they find interesting. And maybe that's the same thing because algorithms programming them and they're programming me. Maybe that's all the same. But at least you're getting to choose your mission rather than being filled with it at all times.
And you've talked about this before, is that you like to go deep on topics that you're particularly interested in. You've said this before. I just wanted to make sure that our newer audience who hasn't heard that hears that. But number two, I think what's important is that you're not someone who gets into a lot of doom scrolling.
No.
You're not someone who's just like, let me waste 47 minutes of my life just going through bullshit right now.
Yeah, and I think it was like 3 or 4 nights ago. It was late at night and I'm sitting there. I'm like, open up TikTok. And I'm scrolling through. I'm like, TikTok feels different. The algorithm used to be like phenomenal. And now it feels like the same as YouTube Shorts, feels the same as Instagram Reels, feels the same as like X's Reels or whatever they call them.
Maybe it's because the competition is finally caught up.
I think they're all just the same product. So there's no differentiating factor between any of those any longer. At least it doesn't feel like. For example, if I have my phone on and I just start scrolling these short form videos, I don't even know if I can tell the difference on where I am.
No, you can't.
It's all the same videos, same content.
Yeah.
Everyone takes the same content and just posts it 6 different times, different places. And the algorithms pretty much all work the same. They're almost like they're communicating with one another. So that there's this shared algorithm in your phone that knows everything about you. And then you're just like, boom, go.
I feel like what you're communicating is what a lot of your audience probably also feels, which is the matrix around us is becoming more apparent. Does that make sense? It's easier to see the games that are being played by the machines behind the veil, right? Let me bring this up. In the early 90s, did you ever find yourself holding what's the word I want to use? Let's just say
penis. Hold on.
Wait. Why was that your what? A penis?
Why are you holding penis?
Why was that your first suggestion?
Dude, did you see Kanye's tweet? I was like, what the hell am I reading?
He used to give his cousin blowjobs and stuff.
He's like, my name is Ye, and I suck dick till I was 14 years old. I was like, what? Like, what the hell did I just read?
Do you know why he did that?
okay, is he like a shock jock?
No.
Or is he like legitimately confessing his sins to the world? Where are we? What's going on with Kanye?
It's number two. What he is doing is he is ensuring that he is getting ahead of the game. He's ensuring that you have no strings on me. You have no dirt on me because I already told the world I sucked my cousin's D. Like, what are you gonna hold? What are you gonna threaten me with? We have tapes of you sucking your cousin's D when you were. It's like, bro, I already done told the world.
Yeah. You think that's what it is?
100. Because Ye is the autist. He's the type of autist that gets from his, you know, he has his entire posse, his entire network. One of his little birds from his network said, "Hey, Ye, I heard, you know, someone's gonna, you know, do this, do that, do whatever, you know, talk shit." And how Ye, you know, synthesizes this information is, well, I'm just gonna tell the world that I fucking did it. Then that's what he does.
Oh,
That's what he does.
I don't even want. I mean, we're thinking about it. We're talking about it. It's.
Now, let me bring up a tangential topic, but it's somewhat contextually relative.
And when you put it out there first like that, it makes it like it's less shocking than if it was like a bombshell report.
Dude, 3 weeks ago he had a swastika on his main page. Like Ye has jumped the shark.
Yeah.
He is already
care.
there. He's gone. Like he's 10,000 light years already away
Did
from
he
us.
actually sell that merch?
Oh, it sold out until they shut it down.
But did they actually ship it? Or did they just like sell it and then
It might be one of the like the fire festivals type of thing where you buy the t-shirt. You
and maybe they
never go.
just refunded people, or maybe they didn't collect payment. Who knows?
I mean, okay, so let me give you a question. I had a different question, but I'm going to use the same narrative to get there. It's funny because of this context. In the early 90s,
Yes.
Did you ever find yourself holding a Playboy magazine?
Yes.
Did you ever, when you opened up that Playboy magazine, it was basically softcore porn, right? You saw a little bit of bush, but you didn't see, you know, it was more narrative-driven type shit, right? Is not Instagram softcore porn? Let it sink in. Think about when you were in the late 80s, early 90s, and you got that magazine of the Playboy, and you were like, "Oh, I gotta go tell Jerry, right? I got it. You know, we gotta go get it, you know?" And when you opened it up, it was just bikinis and a little bit of bush.
Instagram is getting really bad.
Instagram is softcore porn. And the reason why I'm taking a hard line on this is because I have teenagers now, and my teenagers in high school, and I can't believe what I've seen on those Instagram pages. I can't believe it. I can't believe like in the 1991, I would have seen that on a magazine, right?
Skinamax.
And it took great effort to get that magazine, if you know what I mean.
Maybe even blurry.
Yeah, maybe even had the Japanese black bar, right? It's like, bro, but now on Instagram, it's toxic. It's poison. And I just want to put that out in the world. I want to put that in the ether. I've told my wife, it's poison. I cannot have our kids on that shit. It's just, all of it's poison, man.
I mean, you definitely can't let your kids on Twitter.
Any of them.
Twitter's like
poison.
full on porn.
Yeah. Twitter is prawn, right? Instagram, I think, is softcore prawn, basically. Softcore prawn.
TikTok seems to be actually the most sensitive of all, which is interesting how that turned out.
Interesting how the
because in
how
the
this
beginning
cycle
they
goes.
were the ones that are like, oh, that's where all the thoughts are, and that's where all the OnlyFans girls are. That's kind of how they started, but somehow they're the most conservative now.
Yeah. Now
And everything else just went. I don't know if maybe they're the same. They've always been that way, and everything just like zoomed past them.
One of the biggest things is all of the prawn stars that are OF stars are now doing stuff on Instagram.
Yeah, because they keep on getting banned on TikTok, I believe. They're not allowing it.
I'm telling you, like we live in this world where the Matrix is real, the Matrix is more apparent, the propaganda and the messaging is so clear what they're trying to push on us. Degeneracy all the way through the entire pipeline. Like it's all degeneracy, bro.
And you really got to be careful.
I think people are tired of that.
I mean, you got to be careful what you're scrolling because even your algorithms at this point are exposed. People will know what you're looking at. They get your habits. They get to know who you are. And then, people like Pete Hegseth, who can't seem to stop sharing sensitive information with people around him.
Pete Hegseth is the type of guy that has his like password is like password 123.
4.
Did he go the extra step?
Well, they're like, you need something more secure. He's like, oh, exclamation point.
Password 123 exclamation point.
And you need a capital. Oh, capital P.
Oh.
ASSWRD exclamation
Seriously,
point.
his OPSEC and DevSec is terrible, dude.
Isn't that concerning? Because if you think about it, Pete Hegseth is the Secretary of Defense. There are a few members of cabinet that are more important than others. So if you have the HUD secretary, or maybe the transportation secretary, or maybe if you have one education secretary, and they're like, oh, we shared some information and it got leaked. Okay.
Nobody gives a shit about the trans stuff that you're trying to shove in education. Nobody cares.
But if you are Secretary of Defense and you have access to war-related information,
and plans,
you should be like the most secure person ever. And then I got to think, man, maybe he's just like way underqualified for this job, because these are things that even under a Biden administration, they would not do. Right? It's just basic things that it's supposed to be a part of your habit, to be secure with your information, be secure with how you communicate. These are habitual things. If you had someone that had experience in high levels of business, if you took one of these CEOs that had been a CEO of a large organization, maybe a public traded company, they understand what it means to protect private information. Because they have IPOs, they have stockholders, they can't just let the information out there. They're trained in this, and it's a part of how they live their lives.
Not wrong.
Right?
Not wrong.
There are protocols in place that even if you don't tell them they have to specifically do, they live that way.
And in many cases, unconsciously so, because they've been trained in that industry or expertise for so long.
But Pete Hegseth has never had to live that life before, meaning that and he's the top of the food chain in his division, meaning there's no one above him to teach him how to do these things. And therefore, he's just sloppy.
Yes.
This is sloppy.
You know,
he doesn't know, which makes him actually, I think, like underqualified. Like these things especially about things that are confidential or sensitive, even if it's not officially like a trade secret, it should still be habitual in that you live and act that way.
So
why doesn't he do that?
Once again, I'm going to look at the audience, and I'm going to tell the audience that once again I am astounded at Matthew's acuity at meta level patterns. This is quite an amazing thing you've brought up. So let me recontextualize what I've heard. You basically have communicated the corporate dysfunction that plagues most all organizations with any type of organizational change, which is simply you don't have the requisite experience, heuristics, or network to do this job well. And this Trump cabinet, the way that you've communicated it, if I look at all these Trump cabinet picks, a lot of them are exactly that. Is that they are ill-equipped. They are poorly equipped in many cases. And they don't have... So let me give my own example. When you said that, when you were talking about that, my first thought was, he's totally not wrong. I make financial decisions and I make decisions in life because I'm a capital deployer and I've been so for almost a decade now, that I will naturally not do certain things financially because I know that if I were to do them, it could cause gray areas in my business life. And so I am naturally attuned to being very clinical about financial matters, financial transparency. This goes in this column, not this column. It was an expense, not like super clinical. And because I've been in that realm of industry for so long, it naturally creates a security apparatus and mental model around how I engage and how I do life. Clearly, Pete Hegseth is ill-equipped, doesn't have the experience, because these basic fundamentals of security are clearly not within his decision matrix.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a startup environment in a business and it's someone that hasn't done it before, but they can learn on the go because that's a part of being a startup.
Trial and error is fine at that rate.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially if you're I saw you tweet about MVP, is that, if you're trying to launch a simple product, a minimal viable product, and that's your goal, there is a little bit of room. It shouldn't take you 16 months or 18 months.
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah,
but it gives you a little bit of time to learn on the job.
The game is feedback. Yeah, the game is
But
feedback.
if you are put in a position where you are head of a bureaucracy and there are thousands of people underneath you,
You should know that shit.
there are certain things like if that was someone underneath Mr. Pete, they'd be fired immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Because they would be considered incompetent and unfit to have that role and position.
Yeah, and you've created a pattern of risk exposure.
But that's my concern about a lot of these top cabinet. Like, for example, I was thinking about this. So, like, Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, and RFK. I actually kind of like RFK and Tulsi Gabbard. But they are not equipped to be running organizations with thousands of people because they don't understand how to run an establishment type of network. If you were, they haven't been in that type of position before. So they're learning on the job, which is great if it was a startup. But we're talking about the U.S. government. You want someone that has experience, at least, maybe not in that specific role, but at least in operating in that manner and fashion with that many people.
Yes.
With all those protocols involved.
Yes, a level of maturity and experience and exposure will naturally avail you the opportunity to do your job exceptionally well. Right? Because you have the requisite experience and you have the historicity to be able to say, yes, I am well equipped. I know how to do this. Here's my battle plan. Instead, we have people joining signal chats, laughing and high-fiving and going, oh, we done shot people, the Houthis. Right? Actually,
Got the Houthis.
Got the Houthis. Like, these guys are retarded, man.
You know, like, I'm not a Marco Rubio fan at all. I am very anti-Marco Rubio. But that is a policy decision, right? I don't agree with his policy. I don't agree with his viewpoints. I don't agree with how he perceives the world, war, his aggressive attitude towards starting other wars. That being said, he's at least more prepared for his role as a executive within the government than those other guys. Because he has experience being a congressman, running organizations, doing things like this. He's at least has some experience in managing people. So he is better at that role in a fundamental operational standpoint. Not saying I like him because I don't agree with anything he says.
You're going to get some shills there, or people are going to be like, oh, he's shilling Marco Rubio.
Yeah, I don't agree with anything he says, but as far as operationally, he's a better fit because at least he has some experience.
Yeah.
And then you have these other three, which have no experience in that. And all of a sudden, they are in extremely big positions. And we're starting to see what that ends up being, you know?
We are, what, 6 months into this Trump administration?
3 months into the administration, 6 months since
So
election
three
day.
months, and really just 3 months. It's still too early to tell, but I tell you, my feeling is like the momentum has... The momentum of the whole MAGA, the MAHA, it seems like it hasn't stopped, but it is slowed down tremendously. Like and we've seen enough in the last 3 months where it's like same game, different boss, you know? So I wonder how the rest of this year is going to fall out because the stock market is tanking, gold is ripping. Bitcoin seems like it's about to start its bull run. The world apparently is on fire, but at least we're not having Hollywood actors' homes being blown up and Tesla's being blown up. It seems like there's a lull. Is it just me? Or does it seem like there's a lull right now? Like it's like we're all waiting for something to drop, the shoe to drop or something.
Or is it just the same it's always been and the news is just kind of taking a break?
Maybe the news just sucks ass. I mean, we did have the Pope die.
I found that out like 2 days after the fact.
Yeah.
Wait, that's today. 2 days after the fact, you guys walked in, the Pope died. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So
How did he die?
I think
Can we get some context on this? I really wasn't paying attention. I did Easter. Oh, happy Easter, everybody.
yes. Happy Easter, everybody, for those who celebrate.
Everyone should celebrate.
Everybody should celebrate. So Pope Francis died on April 22nd. I think he after battling double pneumonia.
Double pneumonia?
Yeah, with the death of the 88-year-old spiritual head, looks like they're going to have to find his successor. So they're gonna probably have to find another actor for this next pope.
And when they find the new pope, that's when they do the white smoke, right?
Well, yeah, I don't remember.
Isn't that the white smoke thing?
All I know
they
is
go
that
to their conference and they decide who it's going to be, and then everyone waits outside, and CNN has it on for a 24-hour
right.
stream,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, the white smoke. He's been chosen.
He's been chosen. Well, yeah, he's probably just going to be another actor because
I saw there was a Filipino guy that was a contender.
A Filipino guy.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
What is the New World Order? What's their plans there? Because basically I know we have a lot of religious people out there that are Catholics. I don't intend to.
Oh, you're gonna say it.
You know, let me switch it. I will say and offend Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, and every religion except the one that shall not be named, because I don't want to just get back in YouTube jail. And so, but apparently, it seems like the Pope, the leader of the Catholic Church, in my eyes, of course, I'm an ignoramus, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Never do.
But it seems like the Pope has been a lot more political in the last, let's say, cycles. Does that make sense? Do you remember the older popes, the John popes, and all them? They didn't seem as political or politically inclined as the latest pope has. And so I wonder if this next pope is going to be even more New World Order, social credit score, push DEI type of stuff. Makes you wonder.
I wonder who the new pope's gonna be.
I hope it's this Filipino guy. That would be cool.
I did not know there was a Filipino guy in the running. Can we vote?
I know.
Is there like a social media campaign?
No, you
to,
don't.
Like,
you don't vote.
to get people like activated and try to get their level up so that maybe they get more visibility. Like, how does the picking of a pope actually happen? Do we know? Can we do a quick search on this?
I think how they pick the pope is the 30 or 35 families that rule the world, including the Rothschilds and these types of things. They come together and they choose the next leader of this mainline religion.
It says it's a secret ballot by the College of Cardinals in a process called the Papal Conclave.
The papal conclave. That sounds like some.
It sounds like a party.
Yeah, I want to go to the papal conclave.
I mean, you can stand outside and wait for the smoke.
So why when they go into the papal conclave, why do they all wear red shoes?
Do they?
Do you know why they wear red shoes?
Why do they wear red shoes, Peter? Why do they wear red shoes?
I don't know. I mean, it's not like you'd ever walk on something that would cause your feet to be red. You know, that would be mysterious, wouldn't it?
Red shoes. Do you own a pair? Do I own a pair of red shoes? I think I have one pair of red sneakers.
There's certain clubs that you have to have red shoes to be able to get into these clubs, from what I understand. I don't know what it necessarily means, but I can conjure up a couple ideas.
I'm pretty sure if you Google it at home, you'll find out exactly what the red shoes mean.
Oh, it probably has something to do with the Yellow Brick Road.
Huh.
And Dorothy and her red shoes is what you're probably talking about.
When you pick a pope, can we have there could be a Filipino pope, which would be weird. Interesting.
Let's Google this.
There's also a black pope in the running.
Wait, is it the black pope or like a black colored pope?
Ooh, because we talked about this.
We did talk about the black pope.
Yeah, because the white pope kisses the black pope or the gray pope's hands or whatever.
The black pope is like the Jesuit pope.
Yeah.
A pope from Africa.
A pope from Africa?
Yeah, Madagascar.
Dude, I'm rooting for the African pope. I'm not going to lie.
So there's Luis
really bullish on this
Antonio
African
Tagle,
pope.
who's from the Philippines. He's in the leading. Pietro
Is he brown? Is he
Parolin.
like brown Filipino or is he like white Filipino?
He's like whitish, brownish. Peter Turkson from Ghana. Okay. Peter Turkson from Ghana.
Is he black?
Peter Erdo. Why are their all names are Peter? From Hungary. Yeah, these are the guys who are in the running.
Ooh, is it like really DEI looking, the running? Or
Yeah, they made sure they made sure that
oh, is it like NFL football where you have to interview a certain amount of black people in order to hire the white guy that you were always going to hire?
Is that what they have in football now?
I don't know if that's how it is, or how it used to be.
Well,
Because there was the idea was that why are all the players like predominantly black, but all the coaches are white? so that they made a rule where you had to interview a certain amount of, minority candidates. I mean, it's college football. I mean, it's NFL football. They're gonna be black, so you have to interview minority candidates, but then they would hire the white guy.
Oh, I get it. So it's
You gotta check the boxes.
You
don't
gotta
have
check
to,
the- you have
don't
to check the
hire
boxes,
one,
yes.
but you have to interview them and make it seem like they actually had a chance.
okay. So yeah, I get it. So it's another racist policy
It's like the original
by
DEI, by the way.
Yeah, the original DEI. Okay, I get it.
So is that what they're doing with the Pope? I'm like, oh, let's get an Asian
Yeah.
one. There's one in the Philippines. Look at him. What's his name? I don't know. But he's like,
Probably.
we can get one of them. We got a couple of Africans. That'll look really cool. Ubuntu's come in, and then,
But isn't this
and then we'll take John Paul, John the Fifth. That's who we're gonna end up with.
he's an old salty white dude at the end of the day. So here's I want to bring this up.
Catholics are so mad at us.
Isn't it?
Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry, Saar. We're going to talk about it the way we talk about it. But isn't it concerning, though? Isn't it concerning that every single facet of any type of area of life is now been inundated and co-opted by the DEI policies and the DEI thinking and the social progressivism of the day? Like, we cannot exit out of that matrix, Matt. It is everywhere. Like, religion was supposed to be free of that. You're supposed to worship your God, love other people, do no harm. It's basically like the three things of religion, right? Love your God, love people, do no harm, right? But everything has now been saturated with political. Like, the gaming world has been reduced to ashes because it's all DEI. And have you heard of the Sweet Baby Inc.?
No.
You never heard of Sweet Baby Inc.?
Oh, is that the one that
The
points
DEI,
out? Yeah.
yeah. So they go into big companies and they essentially gaming companies and they essentially ruin those companies by forcing them to spend millions of dollars on DEI policies that don't have any value.
Damn, I wonder what their consulting fee is.
Oh, bro, they're
probably
making a killing.
They probably make size
They
doing that.
destroyed the recent Assassin's Creed like out of Japan. Did you hear about this?
Oh, because they had the black main
Because
character.
they had the black guy,
Yeah.
and they completely destroyed all of the cultural, items and ideas and cultural history of Japan by modernizing it and making it progressive, and of course making them trans and all this stuff that has no historical evidence. Anyway, so that's what they've done. So my point is that religion, gaming, like basketball, football, like it's all been so destroyed by all of the social DEI policies. And so my point is, yes, we got to check the boxes because we have a Filipino and a black guy, but they're going to end up choosing the white dude at the end of the day.
For those watching and listening at home, if you had a vote, all things even, and you had your choice, and you can cast one ballot, you're taking the black guy or the Filipino guy?
Oh, yo.
Why not?
That is a conundrum. That is a quandary.
If you're picking a pope, and those are your only choices,
Oh, man.
which would you rather have?
Black guy or the Filipino guy?
And he's not, well, in all fairness, he's not like ghetto black. He's like African black.
Yeah, but remember, the African blacks are the guys who look at you and say, "Why are you gay? You are gay.
Dude, do you know how awesome
You are gay."
Do you know how awesome it would be if the Pope spoke like that?
No.
I would totally rock that Pope.
You-
awesome.
Are gay. Did you see that video, right? Of that guy? You know what I'm talking about, right, Will?
Yeah.
We all know who you're talking about.
You are gay. Actually, the moment I snap my fingers, you're not going to be gay anymore.
What?
No, I would choose the Filipino guy.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. No, I take that back. I choose the black guy
Really?
because I want him to say, "You are gay." No, you are gay. I want that accent because you know. Oh man, I'm gonna get us back in YouTube jail.
Oh, great.
You know that if we have the black guy, an increase of, let's just say, peripheral degeneracy will increase. Think about the memes. Think about the opportunity for the black community, for the black community, for the real black community, the African community. Think about the memes Like, do you remember the dun 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 dun?
Where's the sound effect, Will?
Right? Carrying the casket. Some of the best memes of internet history are with a Nigerian.
Yeah.
And actually, all of us have met a Nigerian prince. And we've all been offered hundreds of millions of dollars by Nigerian princes in the past.
Dude, I signed up and I still haven't gotten paid. I sent him my $10,000 for exchange of the $100 million I'm supposed to get, and the guy swore it's in the mail.
You sent it by wire?
No,
Or
you gotta do
Western Union.
You got to do the Western Union money order, of course. I did the Western Union money order. I sent it to Ubuntu, and
He said he didn't get it.
I'm sorry, Prince Ubuntu,
Prince Ubuntu.
and I haven't gotten yet. But they said I'm a direct descendant.
Your nobility?
They said I'm a direct descendant of Prince Ubuntu's grandfather, and that I will get this $10 million inheritance. And all it needs is this $10,000 to file in order to receive it, and that they would only accept Western Union money order written out to cash, cachet.
And what you didn't what you didn't realize is that's actually going to Peter Turkson of Ghana, who's going to be the next pope. So that you're putting your money towards the next pope, Peter. Let me get his name right. Peter Turkson from Ghana.
Dude, Peter Turkson does not sound like an African. Is that white? Is that a white guy from Africa?
Shit, is he a white guy from Africa?
I mean, listen to the name.
Peter
In what
Turkson.
world is that? Is that an African
Hey,
guy?
dude, that's racist, bro. Let's see, Peter Turkson.
There's no way. No way. What? Let me see that picture.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. He is your Morgan Freeman of Morgan Freemans.
Oh, he's got a really interesting name. Peter Kodo Apia Turkson,
That's his English name.
Chancellor of the Pontifical Academies of Sciences.
Pontifical. I want a pontifical. I want to pontificate.
Dude, I don't know if I don't want to judge people by the way they look or that their expressions are, but sometimes you see a face and you're like, I don't trust him.
You mean like physiognomy?
No, you're not allowed to notice that.
You're not allowed. Are you saying you're not allowed to notice facial patterns in
Nope.
humans?
Nope.
And those
That's
facial
racist.
patterns often have
Dude,
behavioral patterns
you are-
attached to them?
Going to physiognomy is, I think, borders hate speech.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because now you're judging people based on the way they look and their patterns and their eyes and their expressions. And you're supposed to just assume everyone's always being honest to you and just take as it is, like I did, which is why I sent Peter the $10,000 because I'm supposed to get the $10 million back.
He looked trustworthy.
No, he didn't. But they told me that judging based on physiognomy is racist.
Oh,
and
I get it.
therefore, I had to take my preconceived notions, put them aside,
Oh, okay.
because I can't pattern recognize
Oh, I
because
get
that is racist.
I get it.
And I had to just take it at face value, in which case I sent him the $10,000.
Oh, dude, you would totally be the best 27-year-old white girl in the ghetto at 11:30 at night, completely ignoring all of her biological signals.
Yeah.
I love it.
You're supposed to ignore
Actually,
the patterns.
you're the next tourist woman, 27 years old, white girl, who goes to Iran to prove that they're not misogynistic.
Or the ones that been walking around India.
Yeah. To prove that all of the pooflingers in India
Yeah.
are not going to physically accost you with their fingers.
There's 500 poofingers sitting there with their shirts off. Let me just go walk right through the middle of them. I'm sure I'll be fine because the internet said, don't judge.
That's right. That's right. You know, I saw a meme one time where I didn't repost it obviously because I'm already in Twitter X jail. But man, I could find no lie in this meme. And the meme simply stated this: the vast majority of white girl deaths would be avoided if they were merely racist. Let that sink in. Find the lie. When do we see white girls on the news? Usually when they're ignoring all of their biological signals
No.
at 1 a.m. in the morning, walking in a dangerous alleyway area And they're like, no, this group of dark-skinned individuals are only going to say hi to me. Like, come on.
The most recent white girl I saw in the news was that girl that got in trouble for having like her and her husband were having sex with like the kids.
What matrix are you a part of, bro?
It was like some girl and she was a teacher and she got arrested because
Not
they
my
were
matrix.
having, I think it was like in middle America somewhere. I forget what state.
Not
And
my
they were
matrix.
like getting the kids drunk and like their kids, the guys were like 14. She was sleeping with like 14-year-old boys.
It's gross, dude.
For the girl or the guy?
For the girl. The guy is, dude, the guy
14.
he goes back to his homies, be like, well, bro,
I hit it.
yo, did you get it? Sniff, smell it. Are we degens or what?
Yes, you
But-
are.
but are we-
Fatigue.
But did we lie?
No. No lies
Hey,
detected.
hey, you can, the internet
lies
can at least look
detected.
at us and say,
No
you know
lies
what?
detected.
Those guys are fatty gay, but they never lie. They always just tell it as it is.
Did we get fact checked on that fatty gay, by the way, from last week?
It's fatigue.
Fatigue. Is it fatigue or fatigue or fatigue?
You're the one who brought it up.
You can't. We're looking at you,
Dude,
and
high
they
school
can't see
French
you.
was
You can't
25
just.
years ago.
High school French was 25 years ago, he says. Oh, shit. Has it been? Fuck. It's been that long?
This past weekend was Easter, and I ran into a predicament.
Did you have to buy those eggs?
No, my wife. She decided she's gonna do something for the church on Easter, and
That sounds expensive.
she was gonna make cupcakes for everybody.
Aw, that's cute. I'll take it.
So she made 350 cupcakes.
Oh, Jesus. Nope. That's a big fat nope.
She made 350 cupcakes at home.
Bro, did you help?
I mean, I
He was the official taste
The
tester.
hesitation said everything, guys. Dude, you should have seen his eyes. He was like, what do I say?
I helped taste test. So, like, we have a pretty big island at home. On every single surface of the island, of the kitchen table, of the dining room table, on top of any flat surface, on top of, the coffee tables, cupcakes everywhere.
Oh, man, you should have taken a picture of it. That would have been amazing.
You
It
couldn't
was-
bring in any to work?
Yeah, right? Yeah, please. Thank you, Will, for bringing up the most salient point of this conversation. You didn't bring any for
She made 350 cupcakes and I think like 15 pans of peach cobbler.
and nothing.
And
Will's crying over there.
And for the record, we have one oven. We're not in this house with two ovens. We have one oven.
Okay.
So trying to bake all that stuff in one oven.
But you ended up baking it all right.
Yeah.
And yet still didn't bring it in.
So that oven was on, I think, 16 hours straight.
And yet still.
So our entire house was like 100 degrees.
But it must have smelled good, though.
I mean,
All that cooking.
I could feel the calories packing on while I'm just breathing.
Was it good, though?
I don't know. I ate a little bit. I'm at cupcake fatigue.
Oh.
I don't actually want to say up cupcake again for a long time.
You know what?
It's too many
You know what,
cupcakes.
Will? Could have reduced that cupcake fatigue? I don't know, man. I feel like Matt's being ridiculously selfish right now.
But it was Easter. And,
On Easter of all, on Resurrection Sunday, he's gonna be selfish like that, Will? Oh, come on.
And-
Sacrilege.
And because it's Easter, everything around children are Easter eggs and Easter bunny. And I've been torn. Do I tell my daughter about the Easter bunny who's 2.5 years old? Part of me is like, well, she's really enjoying it and she's having fun. And we took a picture of the Easter bunny.
You don't want to be a wet blanket.
You don't want to do that. At the same time, I'm like, well, I don't want to get the habit of lying to my child.
All right, I'm gonna stop you right there.
So,
You're gonna lie to your child for the rest of your life.
so
Trust me, as a parent of teenagers, you're gonna lie to your children for the rest of their lives.
So on Saturday we went strawberry picking and they had an Easter bunny. Took a picture of the Easter bunny. Let her enjoy that moment. Easter on Sunday. They did like Easter egg hunt at church. Let her enjoy that. She had a lot of friends with her friends at church. We got home. We're at dinner on Sunday night, and we're eating dinner. I'm like, Easter Bunny's not real.
You autist Degen. You couldn't hold your shit in. You just fucking blurted it out like that.
I blurted off. My wife goes, boom,
Boom.
what are you doing?
That's like a Calvin and Hobbes comic strip right there.
I'm like, I'm not gonna lie to her. You need the truth. Easter Bunny's not real. And my wife looked at me like, my daughter looked at me like,
No, she's a number.
no, it's like, what?
What? Appa? What?
I think it was like just the idea that the thing that she met and saw is not real. Actually, it didn't register yet because she's too young.
You made it worse.
So
She's now gonna have trauma.
so she was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna eat my food. And she went back to eat. So it kind of just, I kind of brushed over it.
Okay.
But I didn't want to end the weekend without saying it out loud. I had to.
You had
I
to
don't know.
clear the conscience.
I had to clear my conscience.
you know
'Cause
why,
I've been
right?
thinking about it all weekend.
You know why? Because he felt guilt
I did.
for not bringing those damn cupcakes.
I felt guilt.
He needed to alleviate his guilt in the public square.
I felt guilt because I felt like an opportunity for me to be honest and truthful with her. I chose not to, just to make it better. It's the equivalent of giving a emotional participation trophy. And doesn't mean that you can't enjoy Easter because she enjoyed all the periphery of Easter. But I wanted to at least be on the record of me saying I said it.
You know why? Because it's all about Matt.
It is all about me.
Yeah, those damn cupcakes. No. Yeah, I was being hyperbolic with my. You're gonna lie to your kids for the rest of your life. You're not gonna lie to your kid. You're going to let out the leash, and over time you're going to give them the full Monty of the truth of the world.
I just had to. I don't know. It was something in me where I was like, dude, just do it.
I mean,
Rip it off.
soon enough, when she's 6, you'll be talking about flat Earth. Wait, that's not bannable, is it?
I don't know.
It's not bannable, is
you
it?
know that globe because when you walk into my parents' house, my mom has a framed picture of one of these kind of prints of these original pictures of the moon.
Oh, okay.
Of Earth.
Okay.
You know, so one of these satellite pictures that they took a long time ago, and they take that original, maybe first one, they create like these renderings or these prints of them.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So she has one, and it's framed, and it's like at the entrance.
Okay.
I'm walking by, I'm like, I don't think it's real. And my mom goes to my wife, your husband's talking crazy again. I'm like, well, hear me out. I'm not saying it's 100% true or false, whichever way you say it. But I'm saying we should at least be able to have the conversation. And she's like, you're crazy.
So there's an unfortunate thing that I'm going to do, and I'm going to rip off the Band-Aid for everybody. The answer is very simple. There are AI tools where you upload images, and you see if they've been shopped. And I have seen, let's just say, convincing evidence that the vast majority of official NASA pictures have been manipulated and shopped according to AI tools, which aren't 100%, but let's just say they're directionally correct.
If you go to NASA's own website and you look at pictures from outer space, on every single page with the pictures, they say that these are digital renderings.
You got it.
They actually say that.
Yeah, they already tell you that it's digitally rendered and digitally altered. Yes.
Yeah, which is crazy. And then we think about Katy Perry and Jeff Bezos' wife.
Oh, going up in the penis rocket?
Go in the penis rocket and come back and opening up the capsule from the inside.
Oh, yeah, but too soon. Too soon. It's all a show, brother. It's all a show. It's all a game.
But it seems like, couldn't they at least pretend? Is it so obvious? Why are they being so obvious about it?
These are intentional cracks in the matrix.
They're mocking you.
Remember, the highest degree of the, let's just say, orders of the world, they clearly, as part of being of the highest tiers, you have to tell the world the evil you're going to do so that the world assents to the evil that you're going to do. And so in all of these rituals that we've seen at football games, all these rituals like this Katy Perry and the penis rocket, that was a massive ritual, by the way. Expensive. The world is burning. People can't afford bacon and eggs. And you're sending 5 celebrity women that nobody gives a shit about to space. We don't do this for fun. It's a ritual.
Wait, did they didn't actually go to space, right? They were just kind of...
Well, let's back up. What's the point? Riddle me this. What was the point of 5 women that nobody really cares about going up in a penis-shaped rocket and coming back to Earth? What was the point?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't... If you put, like, Katy Perry in a lineup of people, I don't think I'd recognize her anyway. I just know the name because I've heard it so many times.
Yeah.
And if you said... If you show me her picture and underneath her picture, you said Katy Perry, like, oh, that's her. But if it was, like, her without the name, then I'd be like, oh, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, well, fair point. But what was the point?
So we can talk about her? We're talking about her now. She's really famous now. She went to space.
I mean, like, when these things happen, one of the first things I think about, what am I not seeing? What is happening around the world that they're trying to distract us with? Right? Because is Pope dying? Is this a big deal? I guess to Catholics it is. Right? But to the rest of the world, they're like, what's the point? So I just don't know. There's so many games being played, man. And I feel like this penis rocket with Katy Perry was 100% a ritual. It was 100% fake. It was 100% for some purpose. But I lack any evidence as to what the purpose was. Like, why that was not an inexpensive journey. Would you agree?
How much does something like that cost?
Rockets seem like they're really expensive.
10 million?
If it's just a production team,
What do you think? Over under 10 million?
Probably over.
Over? Over under 100 million?
Probably under 100 million.
20?
I don't know space rockets. All I know is that if it was just a production team, probably it's a couple million.
I don't know, but we're talking about it, and Will is like looking at his phone and stuff, looking up how much it costs to send a spaceship out to...
How much does it cost to send a spaceship out to a penis rocket?
That's such a weird way to say it. How much does it cost to get a spaceship out to space?
Let's see.
Okay.
How much?
They didn't actually go to space. How much does it cost to do what the penis rocket did? They're not going to tell us? If there is no way... Oh, you guys are searching really hard.
Well...
No.
Okay, so cost per launch is about $3 million. Development cost is about $2.5 billion over years. The ticket price for passengers, if we were to use the Blue Origin, is $300,000 per seat.
So 300,000 times 5, 1.5.
Plus crew, camera. Yeah, you're probably talking about $10 million. Probably
10
about
million.
10 million seems reasonable.
That seems like a good over-under. 10 million.
10 million. So 10 million, what was the point of spending $10 million to send 3 or 5... What?
You think they got $10 million worth of advertisement out of it by doing it, though?
No. Nobody...
It's like 10 Super Bowl commercials.
You're not going to increase your Amazon consumption because you saw 5 women go up in a rocket.
But they may sell more Blue Origin seats moving forward. More people that want to go. You think they're like booked out?
The unit economics for that expense doesn't seem like it makes sense. If you're paying $300,000 a ticket, but it costs you like $7 million to do the day.
It's probably $300,000 per ticket to get onto that ship and go. But then there's probably a add-on for training, an add-on for media, an add-on for the entire economy of that one experience. Yeah. So one person may spend $1 million. Because each experience, especially at that high end, is not just experience. There's all the periphery that goes around it.
So let me ask you this. Would you pay $1 million to go up in a rocket?
No.
Why?
Because the Earth is flat. Where am I going? If you can't break...
I'm done, man. Like, enough said. Enough said, bro. Say less.
If you can't break the firmament, where are you going?
You're definitely not going out of this place.
Let me know. Is the Earth flat or round? We'll talk about it soon. Have a good day.